Courtney, and I am your Cosmic Connection Guide. And today I wanted to come on and just chat a little bit about boosting your mood. Like, how do you go from being in a bad mood to waking up on the wrong side of the bed? From that to being happy and feeling joyful and being grateful for all that you have in your life. There's something about being in a bad mood that makes you want to stay there for a while. And while I am the first to tell you that it's okay to have feelings and to be in those emotions, and I preach, moving through them, feeling them, being aware of them, that's all well and good. But when you're staying there and when you're stuck in that really bad mood, it can actually hinder a lot of things, including progress, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about others, and just like your spiritual journey in life. So if you today or at any point in time are feeling like you're having a bad day, you're feeling sad, you're feeling down, you're feeling upset about something, the first step to this is actually awareness. Being aware that you're feeling this way, acknowledging that feeling, say it out loud. Today, the whole reason that I'm bringing this video to you is because I'm in a weird mood. Like, I'm not in the worst mood that I've ever been in, but I'm also not in the greatest mood that I've ever been in. But I don't necessarily feel neutral either. So I'm aware that I'm feeling this way. I can name this emotion that I'm feeling, such as I'm feeling upset, right? And you can also name why. I'm feeling upset because I didn't sleep well last night and I'm just really tired. And, acknowledging that it exists, acknowledging why it exists, right? And then the step from there is to actually just feel the emotion. Where do you feel this in your body? To me, the last couple of days, I haven't gotten very much sleep. And the sleep that I have had was restless. So I feel that in my body. And actually, my forehead, my temples, my neck. And this is because I'm getting headaches and migraines from not sleeping well. And that's where I feel it in my body. But I can also tell that some of this comes from anxiety. I struggle with anxiety on and off all the time. And typically I can feel anxiety in my chest or in my stomach. So where do you feel the emotion that you're feeling right now? So we've got acknowledge, we've got name, we've got feel it within your body. Now you need to express it, right? Like, just because we have these emotions doesn't mean that we should close ourselves off to the fact that they're there, right? So if you're feeling sad, you should cry. Crying is such a great release process. And if you've ever cried in your life and you allowed yourself to do it for as long as it felt good, do you remember the point after you stopped? When things slowed down, you could take a couple of deep breaths, the tears weren't coming anymore. That moment of like, whew, I did it, right? And you're kind of like, where do I go from here? Like, I'm still sad, but like, there's nothing left for me to express. That same kind of thing is what we need to do for other emotions as well. And acknowledging that, actually releasing these emotions, actually feeling them and doing something about them is not a bad thing. It's not a shameful thing to do. It's not something that needs to be suppressed. Granted, you should do it in a healthy way, right? Like, there's no need for you to attack somebody else. There's no need for you to damage anything or anyone. There's no need for you to put yourself or others in harm, right? There's healthy ways that we can deal with things, even anger and rage, right? We have a punching bag, right? We can punch out the punching bag, or a pillow if you don't have a punching bag, or getting more into somatic movements, right? Where you're stomping on the ground and you're hitting the air and you're just allowing yourself to do whatever feels good in your body. And it's the same thing when you have any other emotion. If you're feeling sad, you might want to cave into yourself and you might want to flow back and forth like this, or you might want to go for a walk, right? Like, how can you move through these emotions in a healthy way and release them to feel better about the day that you're having and to not ruin the rest of your day? This isn't just about like having the emotion and releasing it and feeling good or feeling bad, right? This is like, how can I make sure that this emotion takes up a present moment and nothing else? How can I make sure that the 3 moments from now, I am not feeling this way, right? Like, it's a phase. Our emotions are phases. Our emotions are very temporary. We go through a lot of emotions during the day, but we can move through all of those emotions and we can release the ones that we don't want to have, and we can try to keep the ones that we do want to have. So, okay, what have we done? We've done be aware, name, release, and the last step is just move on. Go, do something, right? Like, don't necessarily forget about it, but like, do whatever you need to do in order to move on with your day. If something happened where you feel like you need to apologize, go up to the person or the people that you need to apologize to, say, hey, I'm sorry, and move on, right? Like, if you need to forgive yourself, do that. If you need to, go to your to-do list and actually get things done, do that. It's one thing to move on from the emotion and still feel it. It's another thing to move on from the emotion and feel differently. You can move on from the emotion and not necessarily think about and dwell upon that specific emotion, that specific time, that specific situation, whatever brought you there, right? So that's really how to deal with your emotions. And another couple of tips that I just want to put out there. If you're like, I feel awful, I can't name it, I can't do anything, I am stuck in this emotion, I don't know what to do, I can't do anything that you just said. Okay, good, great. You have acknowledged that you don't feel great. You can't name the emotion, you can't move through it. Okay, great, that's fine. Here are a couple of things that you can do instead. Practice gratitude for things that you truly feel grateful for. I am not in the greatest of moods, but I feel grateful that I can share this experience with you. I feel grateful that I got outside for a walk this morning. I'm grateful that I was able to stretch this morning. I did a little bit of somatic movement and yoga and stretching, a combination of it all. I feel grateful that I did a breathing exercise. That typically grounds me and puts me back in my present. So just expressing some gratitude. You don't have to write the gratitude down. If you want to, you can, but it's not necessary. And then another thing that you can do is connect out with nature. Go outside for a walk, or go somewhere where there's a bunch of trees or grass around and just like sit, right? Like just being out in nature, feel the sun on your face, or feel the grass beneath your feet, right? There's a couple of different ways to connect with nature, whatever feels good to you. And then another thing that you can do is move your body in a way that feels good, right? Like I keep talking about somatic movement. You can literally look up somatic movement for whatever you're feeling. Somatic movement for feeling stuck, somatic movement for feeling sad, somatic movement for whatever, right? Insert whatever you're feeling here. But a couple of things that you can do, like I said, you can stomp, you can like move your arms, punch the air, you can sway back and forth, you can give yourself a hug, you can kick, you can scream, you can twirl back and forth, right? Like there's a couple of different ways that you can move in that way. But just moving your body, doing something that feels good to you. If that doesn't feel good to you, don't do it. Don't do it. Go out for a walk, go lift some weights, go for a run, like do some yoga, put on your favorite song and dance. Or I've been introduced to it's a type of somatic ideology where you turn on music that connects you with your mood and you dance in a way that connects yourself with the mood, the emotion in your body, and that's a way to move through it, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but here is the gist of this video, right? You can become aware that you're feeling a certain way. You can name the emotion. You can release that emotion, and then you can move on. If you don't know what you're going through, or if that didn't work, or if you really just don't feel connected to doing those 4 steps, you can journal, you can practice gratitude, you can go out and connect with nature, or you can move your body in some other way, like dancing or hula hooping or skipping or jumping around, right? There's so many ways that we can acknowledge our emotions and move through them in a way that honors the emotion but doesn't leave you feeling stuck in that emotion. So that way there, you're not going on day 3 of feeling like the same thing and wondering, why the hell can't I get out of this? Why am I still sitting with this emotion? You need to move through it. You need to just let it go, release it. So I hope you found this helpful. I know that this is something that I am working on doing better, but these are ways that I have found helpful to honor and move through emotions. So I hope that you learned something today. Let us know how you move through your emotions, and maybe that will help inspire somebody else to do the same. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great day.